we're all detectives, aren't we? We're all like trying to understand things. But of course, Lebanon does feel like a murder mystery plot, and somehow it is. My name is Alfred Tarazi. I'm an artist based in Beirut. As a teenager, there was a film festival at one point, and they screened one of Walid Raad's early films. And I remember that when I saw it, I was like, I find that extremely interesting and powerful that you could use art to challenge a political status quo. I started becoming very curious about the Civil War as a teenager. So I remember as a teenager, I was like, I will work on this. It was very clear for me that my desire to understand the city I grew up in, this fractured, ruined city. I wanted to address that. The situation in which we live in Lebanon is something that many people call a protracted civil war. So technically, whenever we talk of the civil war, we're not talking about a chain of events or a chain of violent events that have ended. We're constantly living the continuation of this violence. So it's not over, it's not done. So the civil war is not something that we have turned our backs to. It's not something that belongs to the past. It is embedded in the daily lives and practices of the Lebanese. For me, the work is urgent, needed. It's an act of survival. This is Toufi Abdelal. One Palestinian artist that I'm very much interested in and studying is called Toufi Abdelal, and Toufi's work is charged with sexuality and with ideas of armed resistance. Studying the work of past artists was extremely instructive and inspirational. Ila Khalid. We access the past through remnants of this past, through material produced in the past by people who intended on leaving some kind of a trace. In Lebanon, we have a rich history of modernity, and in the form of newspapers, magazines, cinemas, theaters, all these outlets of modernity. And a lot of the institutions that produced these went bankrupt in the past 20 years. And so there has been a huge dilapidation and loss of a lot of this material. And I very haphazardly became a collector and tracking like some magazines, some newspapers, some certain imagery. My artistic practice is based on appropriated images, so images that I take from the realm of popular media, popular culture, and I kind of reinterpret in the form of collage or other forms. We have a huge digital library, and then whenever we have new acquisitions, I do the selections of what can be needed, and then we scan it, and then we use it. So voilà. I'm very much drawn and inspired by material that past generations have produced, and there is a specific reason for that. Like, it's not, the beginning was very intuitive. When I became familiar with the history, when the history started to become something I could navigate in, I started paying attention to smaller stories, and smaller stories opened oceans of knowledge. And it kind of all goes back to the history of Beirut and the seminal role Beirut played in the history of the region, if not the history of the world. Some of the most thrilling moments in my practice is when I go to the market. I come from a family of antique dealers and craftsmen. My fathers and forefathers, they dealt with much more precious things. Basically, I'm connected to a number of resellers, people who empty houses, scavenge through the undesirables of other people's lives. You find treasures there. You find out that people toss away their memories, their histories, their photo albums. So whenever I get the chance to go and dig into that world, these are cherished moments. It's a wonderful way of learning, because it's not like I'm going to an archive which is organized and everything's labeled. No, you have to look for it and haggle, and I have a fabulous poster Passionate Revolution done by Seta Manoukian. Like, I know where I found it, how I found it. I have the incredible privilege and chance to do what I do, which is basically to take my time in understanding and learning. The least I can do is to give it back to people who do not have the luxury of that time. It's very interesting for me to try to understand how did this whole Arab terrorist association begin. These questions are still important for the West, and also they're also extremely important for us. أطفال لبنان يرسمون الحرب. If I were to coin it, I would say today we're suffering from a crisis of imagination. What the world needs is a new imaginary of the future, but the future cannot be invented out of nothing. The future is based on the incredible sum of human experiences accumulated through millennia. This is a crisis of people who do not know how to imagine better conditions of living to say what the future is. Imagination is deeply rooted to knowledge and to culture. And that's why the work that we do, the work that every single cultural practitioner is doing, is extremely valuable, because we are here to offer counter-narratives and to say that this is not the future that we should aspire to. To participate through an artistic practice in the construction of a common ground is something extremely thrilling for me.